So how did you guys meet? What was your meeting love story?
Part of my job is to go out and shoot remote pieces. And so way back in late 1999, I had to shoot a remote at a top advertising agency. And I'm just supposed to go into this room and be a wise guy.
Well, that's unusual.
Yeah, exactly. And I walk into this room. And I'm bringing this up because people can Google Conan meets his wife, Conan meets Liza, because cameras are rolling. And I walk into this room of 11 people. So we're sitting here with the creative team for FCB, and everyone here is in black, which is, I guess, a New York advertising thing. I immediately start talking to her, and then I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just saying, wait, so where'd you go to school? Uh-huh. Oh, that's interesting. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just trying to find out more about this woman. And my producers are listening in the next room, and they're watching this, and they're like, what the F is, what's he doing? This is, what is it? And then I left the room after this 20-minute conversation with only her. And I said, well, I think that went pretty well. And they're like, we got nothing we can use. And then I said, we should probably get everybody's like name and number. And my head writer, Mike Sweeney, said, it's that blonde woman, isn't it? And I went, no.
No.
And he said, why would we need their information? And I went, for editing? And they're like, editing? What are you talking about? So then we were breaking down the equipment, and she walks out, and we start talking some more, and then we end up talking in the lobby. And she said everything a woman is not supposed to say, leading off with, yeah, I saw my gynecologist recently, and my gynecologist said I need to start having children within the next 2 to 3 years if I really want them to be healthy. And me, rather than being panicked, I'm thinking, yes, you should have children. Your children should be my children.
You said something that rang true for me about Liza, and it's like she wasn't a game player.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that to be one of the things that stood out for me with Barack as well. Once we started talking and became friends, he was very clear, just like you. It's like, I want to date you. At least in my experience up until then, men would be coy. They would, sort of look around the room. It was all so complicated, and it felt a little immature. What struck me about Barack was his lack of pretense. I mean, he was somebody who knew what he wanted and wasn't afraid to say it. And I thought, well, if he's that in tune with his emotions that he can say out loud to somebody that doesn't know, he didn't know whether I liked him back. He was like, look, let me tell you, this is what I think about you. Mm-hmm. I think you're special. I think you're different. And I would like to take you out. And that was rare, and it was attractive.
I think one of the things that you hit on, I never know how to refer to your husband, so I just, but
Barack.
What's
his name?
What's his name? Yeah, because I feel like I can't say Barack, but it just feels weird to me. But when you met that guy, you're in a situation where, yes, initially it's going to be really nice. Let's walk. Let's get an ice cream. Let's go to this really nice restaurant in Chicago. And so everything is, who doesn't have a good time when they go to a nice restaurant? Who doesn't have a good time when they've had 2 glasses of wine? For me, 6 to 8. I have a tolerance. But anyway, that's all the easy stuff. When you think about it, it's the same thing with the wedding. It's one day. It's all about you. There's a band. Everyone's giving you microwave ovens, and you're thinking, this is great. It's one day. None of that tells you anything.
This whole notion of love at first sight, I believe in infatuation at first sight. I believe in attraction at first sight. But marriage is intended to be long. It's full of ups and downs and highs and lows. This is the person you're going through life with.
Yeah.
So it's going to take you a minute, to see this person in an array of situations.
Yes,
To
yes.
see yourself with this person in an array of situations. It's like you wanna see them when they're down. You wanna see them when they're angry. You wanna see how they treat their mother. And it takes time to get to know that about somebody. People aren't perfect. Marriage is hard. It's a struggle for everyone. But the question you have to ask is, do you want to spend this life with somebody? Do you want to build something with someone? And there's no magic way to make that happen except getting the basics of finding somebody, being honest about wanting to be with them, to date them seriously, to plan on making a commitment to date them, seeing where it goes, and then making it happen. And there's work and practice that goes into, I'm going to get off the apps and I'm going to actually ask this girl out and I'm going to take her out for a few months. I'm going to invest in this other person.
Right.
And then I'm going to see where that goes. And if it doesn't go anywhere, then okay, we'll break up, because that's what dating is. You can't Tinder your way into a long-term relationship.
You know, they've done, I think they've done studies. The chemical that gets released in your brain when you're swiping left or swiping right on dating apps is the same chemical that gets released when you're pulling the lever of a slot machine in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone's been to Vegas or walked through a Vegas showroom and seen all those people just sitting there pulling the slot machine handle over and over and over again. And the thing I always notice about them is their expression is joyless. It's these old ladies, and they've got a giant bucket of coins and tokens.
Hey,
whatever.
That's my mom.
Okay, well, that's what this really is. It's an intervention. It's just an intervention.
Marion.
For your mom. No. Marion, get in here. I've talked to your mom, and I tried to bring this up, and I was escorted away by your security.
So we did this whole podcast.
Yeah, this whole podcast is just to get it to Marion. Marion, you've got a problem, Marion, and we got to straighten this out. But no, seriously, it's like it becomes joyless at a certain point. And for me, you know, when I met Liza, I was 36, and I had been through a bunch of relationships. I had lived in 75 different apartments. I had lived in New York and then LA and then New York again and then LA. And I lived in Chicago briefly, and I just bounced around. I went wherever I thought my career needed me to go. And I had been to therapy because I had been really unhappy and I had been through a lot. So by the time I met my wife, I kind of had got to the point where it dawned on me, marrying someone, if it's the right person, isn't surrendering something. It's actually a chance to build something. It took a long time, but I finally saw, wait a minute.
36, 37 years for you, Conan.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it took a
You're
long,
a slow loner. No, I'm just kidding.
You didn't know I was that old.
It's like, whoa.
I'm 88 years old. I've just had a lot of work done. But no, I got to the point where I realized that I could do more teamed up with this person that I could ever do alone. And that was exciting to me. And I cannot conceive of having that notion when I was 25. It took me, I've always been a late bloomer. It took me a while to get there, but I'm really glad I didn't try it before I was ready.